Podcasting from downtown Brooklyn at Brooklyn Bridge Park at Pier Number 6. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. Good morning, of course, but it's usually morning when I'm recording these podcasts and productions, but whenever you choose to join me, morning, afternoon, nighttime, late at night, it doesn't matter. I always appreciate the likes, the looks, the listens, and of course, I'd appreciate you hitting the subscribe button, notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. Do that if you want to, no pressure, even though I would like the algorithm to swing in my favor. Of course, when I come here on these podcasts, of course, I got something to share with you, usually pertaining to the word and things that I've done and experienced in my own lifetime. One of the things I know I've experienced was dealing with management, time management. I'm not saying I'm there totally with everything yet, but I'm much better than I was before. Year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you understand the progression. Now, talking with the missus some time ago, looking at people in the Bible who we can compare ourselves to at times. And I thought about Moses, not because I'm so confident that I've taken people out of slavery and into the promised land. No, it's about time management, because in one time, Moses was the guy out of his whole tribe to go to. You needed something taken care of, he was the one to go to. You needed plans to be done, he was the one to go to. You needed resources, he was the one to go see. Unfortunately, it was only one of him and so many of them. In the book, he was there from morning until nighttime with those lines and crowds of people just waiting for his counsel. And his father-in-law saw this and he said, listen, man, you're not doing yourself a good service. You're going to wear yourself out. And then what's going to happen now? You're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing these people a disservice. What you need to do is find some able-bodied men. Get some people who you trust. Get them to do certain tasks. Delegate. So you're not here from morning until night. These people aren't waiting from morning until night, and then they have to wait for you the day after, the next day after, the next day after to finally get to you, when you could have easily had someone on your squad who was definitely capable of doing this. And I struggle with this thing. That's the one part where I say I related to Moses in that part right there. Because I had positions where I was trying to do everything myself. I had a vision. I knew it wanted to be done, but I know I've discussed this before in this podcast with you guys, but I just want to speak specifically about that. And the same thing when you're in marriage. There's a lot of things that I struggle with the missus. As the father said, the woman's supposed to be a helper. Now, when you say woman's supposed to be the helper, it's not downplaying woman at all. It's just that term seems to be too overly simplified for what a woman should do in the household. When you're actually assisting people, when you're actually the one who's basically a project manager, there's a lot of things that you need to do. You have to be on top of, manage time, manage schedules, know everyone's strengths and weaknesses, and you have to get and glue everything together according to these things, but make sure everything is done that needs to be done. Thing with that, going back to my work, I had people around me who were more than willing to help, and I had to get myself to be forced, humbled, to get people to you know what, I can't do this, you're capable, you do it. People had to come to me, yo, listen, man, I'm here to help, just let me know what you want to do. And it was so hard for me to get that concept to just let things go. And you have to get able-bodied people around you. Same thing when you have a mate, when you have a wife. You have to make sure that they're able-bodied people. And then allow them to do things. Even though you may be able you are able to do these things, you're wasting time. You're wasting man hours. Possibly wasting resources, because when you're busy trying to get this thing done over here, this thing over here that you should be doing is not being tended to, and that's time being wasted. We had a lot of back and forth with me and the missus, Am I there totally 100%? No. I'm much closer to that, though, than I was before, because I realized it and started to make the proper motions towards that. You see, And that's where it comes down to standards, because you could smoke and joke with whoever you want to, but then not all those people you're going to have on your team and your squad to get things done. When you live a life of standards, you follow Elohim properly. If you just have a certain set of standards to how you want things to be done, you start to realize and observe the people around you who you can count on. And those are the people that you have in your circle to accomplish certain things. And you have to utilize those things, not to exploit them. Utilize their strengths. We are not self-made people. Even though there are people that have some serious, heavy ambitions that get a lot of things done, they too still need people to get things done. They depend on people too. So just as Jethro counseled Moses, I had to take that counsel too from other people, from my other Jethros in my life, including my wife. So you have to understand that, yeah, you can do everything, but you're more effective when you have an effective squad around you. Utilize the people around you, especially if they are willing to help you. That's a treasure all in its own, because a lot of people out there that want help and they can't get it. That's all I got to say today. If you want to catch more of my content, please visit my website at www.brooklynbaritone.com. You can also check out my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. I'm also on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook. You can get the audio versions of these podcasts on Google Podcasts, iTunes Podcasts, and Amazon Music under Podcasts and other podcast platforms. You could also catch me on local Brooklyn cable television. I air 4 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays on 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. on those respective days, and I'm on Verizon, Optimum, RCN, and Spectrum. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. You will hear from me next week. Walk good and utilize your time. Utilize the people around you. Anyways, you hear from me next week. I'm out.